She's still in there, no matter how far you've moved or how many years have passed. Carl Jung called this force the mother complex. Not just about your actual mother, but the emotional imprint she left behind. You carry it in self-doubt, approval-seeking, emotional shutdowns. This is the shadow mother, an internal echo of unmet needs, inherited pain, and unspoken expectations. This isn't about blame. It's about liberation. As Jung warned, nothing has a stronger influence psychologically on their environment, and especially on their children, than the unlived life of the parent. Let's begin. 1. The archetypal mother, beyond biology. Jung saw the mother not only as a person, but as a universal symbol. The great mother, who nurtures and devours. She exists in myths, religion, and psyche. This duality, protector and oppressor, shapes our emotional patterns. If your mother was cold or controlling, that energy fuses with this archetype. You may seek nurturing but fear intimacy. You may idealize her and suppress pain, or demonize her and block love. Either way, you project her image onto others, lovers, bosses, mentors. Healing begins when we stop trying to fix the outer mother and start facing the one inside. 2. The shadow mother, the inner saboteur. She's the voice that whispers, "Don't speak up, don't shine too bright." Not always your real mother, but the psychological residue she left behind. She appears in fears of success, intimacy, or joy. She tightens your chest when you try to grow. In Jungian terms, she's the dragon guarding the treasure, the path forward. Active imagination. Let your inner child speak. Let the shadow respond. Bring rage and sorrow into the light. And slowly, the guilt loses its grip. This isn't about blaming her. It's about reclaiming yourself. 3. The internal mother. The voice in your head. She doesn't yell. She whispers. Quiet, constant, and familiar. Carl Jung called her the mother imago. Your psyche's memory of her, distorted through childhood interpretation. If she was critical or absent, you may hear, "You're lazy, you'll fail, you're too much." Her voice shows up at job interviews, in relationships, in dreams. You may project her onto others, chasing approval or fearing rejection. Jung warned that this psychic possession keeps us trapped in the past. Healing begins when you recognize, this isn't your voice. It's hers. Through journaling, dreams, and boundaries, you start mothering yourself. You build a new inner home, one of compassion, not criticism. 4. Separation. Becoming your own person. Separation from the mother complex is a sacred act, not betrayal. Jung said without it, there can be no individuation, no true self. This process is painful. It means grieving the childhood you never had, mourning the love that never came, and accepting it wasn't your fault. In the void that follows, fear rushes in, but creation must follow destruction. You build a new life, not from guilt, but from truth. This is the rise of the sovereign self, the one who doesn't ask, will she approve? But is this true for me? 5. Signs you carry the mother wound. Still unsure if this affects you? Look for these signs. Inner critic. A voice that always says, not enough. Fear of autonomy. Freedom feels unsafe. Inherited guilt. Wanting more makes you feel selfish. People-pleasing. You abandon yourself to feel loved. Repeating patterns. Emotionally unavailable partners. Core belief. I am not enough. Locked creativity. Fear of judgment paralyzes expression. Physical symptoms. Your body stores unprocessed pain. Spiritual emptiness. Disconnection from intuition and inner knowing. These are not weaknesses. They're sacred signals. And when you name them, you reclaim your power. 6. The shadow mother as initiation. Jung saw confronting the shadow mother as a rite of passage. This is the niggerdo, the blackening, the breaking of illusions. You stop pretending. You let rage and sorrow rise. Through active imagination, you engage her. Not to destroy her, but to see her clearly. You stop idolizing or blaming. You recognize her humanity, and you take your power back. In doing so, you reclaim not just your psyche, but your feminine essence, your creativity, your intuition, your truth. Rituals help. A letter, a fire, a painting. Each action says, I no longer belong to you. 7. Forgiveness isn't the goal. Freedom is. We've been taught to forgive to heal. Jung disagreed. Forgiveness may come, but it's not the goal. Healing starts with truth, with anger, with grief, not with pretending it didn't matter. Forgiveness, if it happens, should never cost you your truth. You don't need to reconcile. You don't need her apology. You don't need to perform compassion. You just need to stop living in reaction to her pain. You don't need to forgive to move on. You need to choose yourself. 8. Rebirth. Who you become. Healing the mother wound doesn't end in peace. It begins in power. You stop orbiting her gaze. You stop shrinking to be loved. You start parenting yourself. You rewrite your story. You declare, I am not here to fix the past. I'm here to build my future. You set boundaries, not to punish, but to protect your reclaimed soul. And slowly, the inner nurturer awakens. You create. You feel. You lead. Not for validation, but because your soul has something to say. You become a conscious ancestor, breaking the cycle, not with blame, but with truth. Final reflection. You don't need her approval. You don't need her permission. You only need this, the courage to write your own story. Because the mother wound does not define you. Your healing does.